Did you know that you're not supposed to have a TV, a mirror, or plants in your room? And according to Feng Shui expert Cliff Tan, he says the way things are positioned in our home will have a profound effect on our mental and our physical health.
We have to understand what a plant symbolizes. A plant symbolizes energy and life, so it's a nice thing to have, but not in the bedroom because the plant is too lively. In the bedroom, you want to be sleeping, you want to be like restful.
Cliff Tan is an architect, author, and Feng Shui practitioner out in London, England. He's widely known in social media under his channel Dear Modern. He's got a new Feng Shui-based book called Feng Shui Modern, which was published in 2022 in 5 different languages. All right, Cliff, welcome to the show. Wow. I've been watching your social media channels, and something that has been really resonating with me, especially moving into my new home this summer, is actually being intentional about the things that are in my home, where they're positioned, and how they make me feel. And for a long time, I didn't even have any idea that this made even an impact on our mental health and even our physical health. And then I started really going back to Feng Shui and learning more about it on this retreat when I went last year, and then finding you on social media. So welcome to the show. I have a important question from the get go. Is it real? Like, can things in our home, the way they're positioned, actually affect our mental health and physical health?
Totally, like your environment affects you in so many ways. Like the you can like think of it like if you go to a restaurant, right? If you go to a cafe, like the seat that I give you, the waiter gives you, can really affect your evening. If I put you in a seat right next to the toilet or next to the entrance, it'd be very distracting, very annoying even. If I put you in the banquet seating next to the window, that's where everybody wants to go. The fact that you have to book for the window seat alone already shows how sought after your environment is.
Mm. So I
Mm.
think about you. It's funny you're saying that, and I think about me. Just we were talking about me being in London on the airplane. It actually matters big time, the positioning of where you're at and actually your experience. Okay, so positioning of things matter. What about physical health? Can it actually add to our stress a little bit every single day, that it keeps building up over time and actually can make us physically sick?
It would, yeah. So like I mean, in feng shui, we actually say like I mean, the old age-old books would say things like if you sleep in a certain way or your room is faced in a certain way, you will get this and that kind of medical condition. It put it quite literally, like you will get colon cancer. It's a bit. It sounds ridiculous, but the fact is that they would like cut off all the in between things. So when you sleep in a bad way, you will not sleep well, and over time compounded, your health will suffer, and then that will lead to consequences. But of course, in feng shui books, we kind of take out all the in between and say that if you sleep this way, you will get this medical condition, which is why it sounds quite superstitious, quite woo-woo at times. But there is a kind of reasoning, and there's a reasoning behind it.
Mm. So you're an architect, and in your schooling, did anyone teach this in schooling, or did you have to get a whole nother education?
No. Architecture doesn't talk about feng shui at all. So, uh, I'm from Singapore, and feng shui is widely practiced in that part of the world: Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, even the Philippines and Taiwan. Not so much in China, surprisingly. Even though feng shui originated in China, it's not very, or at least it used to not be widely practiced over there. It's more popular in all these um other like Southeast Asian countries, and so that's where I'm from. And my granddad was a feng shui master. So my whole family was quite into it. Like before we bought a house, we would check if it's the right one for us. And we will put our furniture in a certain way. But not just my family. Like it's just widespread in Singapore. Like you would have apartments or houses that simply cannot sell because their feng shui is not good. Even if
Wow.
it's a really good price or whatever. Um so there is a tie up between how you feel versus how your space is structured feng shui wise.
Mm. And it really piques my interest when you say that. Like, people go to these open houses and walk to buy a new home, and sometimes the home doesn't sell. And you're saying it could literally be the arrangement of the furniture and how the energy flows around the house that can give people this vibe that they don't want to buy the home. Uh, does the
Yeah.
same thing happen when people come into your home?
The first thing is about how the home is structured, like if your home is in front of a big busy highway, tell like things like that, very obvious signs that it's a bad house, or it's in front of a petrol station, like things like that, or electric substation. There's a lot of like these stuff give off bad vibes, and you feel bad about it. You feel like, oh, there's a giant factory next to me, a nuclear power plant next to my backyard. I wouldn't let my kids run out there. So it's things like that. The immediate surroundings would affect you, and subsequently is how your internal furniture arrangement will also affect you.
Okay, so we got to get into this nitty gritty now, okay? Because there's people listening and they have this podcast on, they're in their living room or they're in their bedroom or they're in their kitchen, and they're going, okay, is my feng shui off? What is the most important principle of having good feng shui in the house, first and foremost?
Well, I mean that feng shui has many facets to it, but I guess the most important thing is a very primal instinct of ours is to feel secure and safe. So a recurring theme in all my videos is that you don't want to be attacked by birds and monkeys from behind. So essentially, you don't want to put yourself in such a way that you are vulnerable. A very good and common example is when people sit with their desks, they're working from home. A lot of people sit with their back towards the door. So they are working facing the room and the door is behind them. So when they're having like virtual meetings and stuff like that, people can come in and they will be like whoever who comes in will be in your background. So this is a very classic example of a desk in a bad position.
Mm-hmm. And when the desk is in a bad position, does it throw your work efficiency off? Does it throw off the people that you're on a Zoom call with? What is it? Just like you just don't feel safe?
So firstly, it will make you feel not safe. Like someone, like your housemate, can open the door without knocking and scare you, or even they did knock. You are so engrossed in your work that you don't see them coming into your peripheral vision. So they come in, they scare you. That's number one. Number two is that there's all this like stuff and distraction behind you. The kitchen is behind you. The coffee machine is behind you. It's so easy to just get off your seat and go and turn around and go to the back. So it's a bit distracting. You feel unsafe, and also like you don't feel like you like settled into your job. So when you're not seated in the right spot, especially for your desk, your work efficiency will suffer. And if your work efficiency suffers, you will not produce the results, and then you will not get the promotion, and then you become poor. So that's why we will say if you sit this way, you will not make money.
I see. So it's total. It really is. There's an energetic piece where basically you're saying that anyone who's listening, bring awareness if you're sitting with your back to the door when you're working from home, because a lot of us work from home. Are you sitting with your back to the door? And this might be the cue now to change it. And we want to face the door, right?
No, that's another mistake. People like they misunderstand me. When I say don't have your back to the door, I don't mean then you must face the door. I mean you must just not have your back to the door. It's okay to sit at an angle so that the door is on your left or on your right. So you can still, because what happens if you are sitting facing the door, it means that the window is behind you. And if the window is behind you, then the birds and the monkeys can attack you without you knowing. So you want to be able to see the window. So, okay, in this situation, the door is a form of bad energy because you have distraction, you have people scaring you, bad energy. But at the same time, you want to receive good energy. And good energy often comes in the form of a nice view, looking out, natural light. So you don't want to deprive yourself of the nice energy either. So the best way to sit is to sit in a way that you can see the window and see the door at the same time and have a wall behind you so nothing can happen behind you.
Okay, so everyone, I want you to think about it. Where is your desk positioned if you're working from home? Get that nice view and get the door view. You want to get them both, right? With your back to the wall so nothing catches you by surprise. You feel safe. The room feels good. I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yes.
Now, as the weather starts to cool down, I have been thinking about the importance of creating a cozy, healthy sleep environment. And with a back-to-school season in full swing, getting quality sleep is more crucial than ever. That is why I want to chat with you about Birch mattresses. I've had the Birch Luxe mattress for years now, and I'm going to tell you it is the best bed. It is a game changer for my sleep. It is a game changer, God, for comfort, man. It's like, I was just thinking about this morning. I was in bed, and I was like, I love this bed. I really love this bed. I did a little gratitude thing and I said, thank you, bed. What sets Birch apart is their commitment to using responsibly sourced natural materials. We're talking about organic cotton, organic wool, 100% natural latex. And what really impressed me is that Birch mattresses are completely free of polyurethane foams and any fiberglass. That means you're not getting any of those harmful off-gassing nasty chemicals in your sleep space. Many companies out there are using fiberglass as a flame retardant, and you are breathing those particles in. They are affecting your respiratory system long-term, causing inflammation. Birch, on the other hand, uses 100% organic wool, which is naturally flame resistant. And since I've been sleeping on my Birch mattress, I noticed a significant improvement in my sleep quality. I fall asleep faster, wake up feeling even more refreshed. I've noticed less back pain. It is fantastic. Birch, shout out. I really love you, Birch. Listen, my heart is open. I want to give you a big heart hug. I love you, Birch. Birch has extended their Labor Day sale for a limited time. You can get a 25% off of any Birch mattress plus 2 free EcoRest pillows. To take advantage of this offer, go to birchliving.com/heal thyself. That is birchliving.com/heal thyself. In my journey to achieve and maintain really good health, I've come across a game changer. I love me some Nuzest Good Green Vitality. I brought this with me on my Euro trip. I had these little packets. I brought 10 for 10 days. I used all 10 up. Every morning I had this. I did not get sick once. Not in Paris, not in London, not flying there, not coming back. I'm telling you, that green drink was like my everyday ritual. I did not leave the hotel room until I finished drinking it. And I felt so good. And with me, I'm always juggling my schedule. I'm always doing things. I'm always running around. It is a powerhouse for my nutrition. I just had one right before this podcast. It's got a unique blend of vitamins, minerals. It's got greens, fruits, vegetables, all in one. No more cabinet full of those supplement bottles. And since I started using Good Green Vitality, I noticed a significant boost in my energy. I have improved focus, even better skin health. It's like I tuned into the product, what my body needs, and it feels good. And the taste, not like any other green powder. It's got a vanilla-y taste, pineapple-y taste. It just tastes good. It doesn't taste like earth or grass like you're having in most of your green drinks out there. You can put it in a smoothie, you can put it in a shake, you could drink it straight. It's part of my morning ritual. So if you want to add in Good Green Vitality to your morning like I do, go to nuzest-usa.com/DRG. Use the code DRG for 20% off of all products. That is nuzest-usa.com/DRG. Use the code DRG at checkout to get 20% off. A lot of people, when this is one thing that I remember I was reading about, because I was setting up my bed and I was looking at your stuff and I was reading online. I had this mirror. I had a mirror, and it's basically saying that you're not supposed to put the mirror near the bed. Is this true when you sleep, that you shouldn't have a mirror facing your bed or near your bed?
Yeah, so mirror is a whole other thing in Feng Shui, because a mirror is a portal. It's a portal that like draws your attention inwards. It reflects its surroundings. It reflects you. When you are sleeping, your senses are not very heightened. You are kind of drowsy. You can't really, you're not really aware of your surroundings. Having a mirror will confuse you. When you wake up, you see the mirror, you see your own reflection, you see movement, and that will startle you in the middle of the night. In some cultures, they will be saying that, oh, your spirit enters the mirror and never comes back. So there are things that says having a mirror is kind of bad luck, but the real reason behind it is because the mirror kind of distracts your orientation. It makes you disoriented. And that's why we never have a mirror pointing towards your bed in the bedroom.
Okay, so where does that mirror belong if you have a mirror in your bedroom?
You hide it. You put it inside the behind your closet door or something. As long as it's not within sight of your bed, that's good enough. Of course, I mean, in Feng Shui, like nothing's ultimate, you know. If you have to put a mirror somewhere in the bedroom, you put the mirror somewhere in the bedroom. Just try to put it in such a way that you don't actually see your own reflection.
Okay, right. If you're on the bed, you shouldn't see yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a whole spectrum of what you can do, what you can't do. Like, there's the best and there's the worst and everything in between. And that's why you would have someone like me who will come and tell you, okay, this, if you can't do this, then this is the next best thing for us.
Gotcha. Okay. One thing that I always wondered about was plants. Can you actually have too many plants? Can you actually have too many plants in your bedroom or in your house?
So plants, we have to understand what a plant symbolizes. A plant symbolizes energy and life. So it's a nice thing to have. So we have to remember that in Feng Shui, nothing is good, nothing is bad. It's all about suitability. A plant is a nice thing for where you are studying, when you're in the living room, you want nice energy. but not in the bedroom because the plant is too lively. In the bedroom, you want to be sleeping, you want to be like restful. If I give you an analogy, imagine you are a caveman a few million years ago. You're looking for a place to sleep in the middle of the night. You found a cave. Would you sleep deeper in the cave where there are no plants or towards the entrance where there are plants? You
Mm.
would choose the one inside because when there's plants, it symbolizes that the rain is coming in, the sun is coming in, the floor is damp or moist, or there's insects and stuff. So it's not that secure. So a plant symbolizes a non-closed space, and that's why it's better to have your bedroom without plants if you can.
So that's going to surprise many people because I've been to a few bedrooms in my life where there's a lot of plants everywhere, and I was like, wow, this is a nice little like nature feel. But when you think about it that way, especially with the cave analogy, you know, you think about like you want to be in a place that is like away from any danger, any away from any discomfort, and maybe like that evolutionary cue might actually just come up. So where do plants belong in our home the most?
I mean, you can have plants in your bedroom if it's not next to your face when you're sleeping. That's okay. You can put it at the foot of your bed, but ideally you have them in like your study room because the plant symbolizes growth and good health. You put them in the dining room or the living room. Like it can literally be anywhere else, just not the bedroom. And the important thing about plants is that they must survive. You don't want to put a plant in the bathroom and wait and watch it die slowly.
Uh,
It needs to have good light, natural light, so that it feels natural and the plant can thrive. It's important in feng shui that whatever plants you have, they are doing well, so you feel good about them.
Bringing more attention to the health of our plants and not letting a plant die right in front of us over time. That's not a good thing.
You don't want symbols of death or decay around you. That's never good.
Okay, you see, we're learning some stuff over here. This is a for you it might be
Mhm.
simple, but for a lot of people we don't, you know, we're never really taught this. Now, now this is one thing I think about. What about a TV in the bedroom? Are we supposed to have a TV in our bedroom? Is that a bad thing in feng shui? Is it supposed to be somewhere else?
Yes, it's bad. I mean, okay, so feng shui came 3,000 years ago, so there was no TV back then.
Yeah.
But we do know that a TV is a kind of energy that doesn't suit the sleeping environment. You sleep. You're not supposed to be watching TV. So you're not supposed to have a TV in the bedroom, ideally. Another reason is that a TV is a bit of a reflective surface, so it's a bit like a mirror. But returning to the original reason, when you watch TV, your mind is very, very busy. You cannot shut off. And then when you turn it off, your mind is still very, very busy thinking about the show that you just watched. And you also kind of associate your room with your bed with a TV watching place. If you really must have a TV in your bedroom, it's better to have a little couch next to your bed and watch TV from there, and then you move over to your bed to sleep. So the bed is a sacred place. Don't contaminate it with other things apart from sleeping and the other thing that you do in bed.
Gotcha. So, wow, no, you know, I remember in college, I had the TV right here in front of my bed. I'd watch whatever, like movies at night, and you know, you don't think about these things. But so you're saying your bed, and I love that we're talking about the bed because I love sleep and good sleep for people. The mirror, not in the position facing the bed. You don't want too many plants around the bed. If you do have plants, maybe on the other side of the room. If you have a TV, you should have a couch in the bedroom, but preferably not even in the bedroom. Might be the best thing. Um, what about if you live with a partner? Is there a certain setup because that's another energy in a house? Should they have their own space and you have your own space? Is that the best for the energy flow in the room or in the whole house? How does having a partner change the dynamics of bedroom or home?
It changes the dynamics a lot having a partner. But like once again, it all depends on things. Depends on your relationship, what your needs are. For example, if you have a partner and you both work from home, maybe you need to have your own office space so you're not on top of each other. If not, then maybe it's actually okay to have more intimate spaces. The one thing for sure is that if you do have a partner, you don't really want your bed to be pushed to one side of the wall. You want to have space on both sides of the bed. Two nightstands, two table lamps, so you have balance. Both of you can enter the bed comfortably, and then you also want to have like a bit of personal space for each of you. So I would normally place my furniture in such a way that each of you have a comfortable spot, not having not one of you having a very nice spot and the other one sitting like in the corner of the room and not being comfortable. So it's trying to find a balance between the two of you. But of course, having two people, you have two different preferences. So it's important to just understand the people, and see what suits them best.
Mm. Okay. It's funny that you say, because like there's some people who do have the bed against the wall, but they sleep with their partner in the bed, and you know that one partner has to kind of like just crawl in from the one side of the, but they don't have equal spacing. So I understand the importance of that. I mean, it's so intuitive as it is. And how about people for kid when they have kids? A lot of moms and dads listening to the show. Is there anything specific? Is there anything specific for children or having kids in the house that we should remember when the context of feng shui?
Well, I mean, okay, so kids are totally different type of energy from adults. So ideally, if you can afford it, have your kids in their own room in the little nursery, and then you have your bedroom so you can kind of sleep better. Of course, if it's a very, 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 very young, you can have your kid, your in the basement in your bedroom. But if they can be in their own space, it will be beneficial for yourself to sleep at night. But when it comes to kids, it's important to find out what the kids need. Normally, they will want to have like a play space. The biggest mistake that I see parents make is that they would designate some random room in the house saying that, okay, this is the playroom, so that all the toys will be out of the way and my living room will be nice and pretty. It doesn't work that way. Your kid wants to be with you all the time. So you are generally, you will be in the kitchen, you'll be in the dining area, mostly in the kitchen. Most parents will be in the kitchen preparing food and doing this and that, and your kid will be next to you, which means that your all the toys and the mess will be around the kitchen in the living room. You can't avoid it. So there's no point saying that, okay, I will put the playroom in the rec room in the basement downstairs. So because they will never ever use it, it will just become a storage for the toys. So it is about acknowledging the kids' needs and their natural tendencies to be close to mom and dad, who is close to the living room and the kitchen. And so we have to make provisions for that to create a play space within the living area, as unsightly as it may be. So since we are prepared for that, we at least make it as good as we can.
Mm. Yeah, you know, I know a lot of my friends when I go visit them who have kids. You go to their living room, toys everywhere. You go towards the kitchen, toys everywhere. I mean, it's sort of the necessary evil of having children, that it's going to be everywhere,
It
especially in the
will be.
common areas. Um, you know, I was. Is part of feng shui also the philosophy of shoes in the house, or is that not feng shui?
And like everything is feng shui.
Everything.
You realize that everything has to do with feng shui. So shoes represent the outside world. Is you wear it to keep your feet clean. So the shoes are taking all the dirty stuff. So you generally want to keep the shoes where they belong, which is the outside. I know in Asian cultures we don't wear shoes in the house because of the very reason. We might change to home slippers or something. We even have a whole room like at the entrance where we take off the shoes and keep them away, and you don't want to see them anymore. Very important, you never store your shoes like very high up in your eye level as well. So to us, a shoe is kind of a dirty thing that we want to kind of store out of sight. I know this may not apply to those people who like to collect fancy sneakers or
Mhm.
high heel shoes, but like for the most part, a shoe is the thing that you want to keep away.
Wow, and why don't we put them at eye level? Because we shouldn't be looking at our shoes indoors.
Yeah, our shoes belong to the ground, not belong in your
They
face.
they don't belong in the face. Wow. Okay, it's so intuitive too. So I'm curious, what other really important principles or things didn't we cover that we should really start knowing about? Maybe like bathrooms or kitchens, important principles.
Oh, there's so much. Like I I have a book and there's a chapter for every single room
I love
because
that.
there's just so much to talk about feng shui. You must feel not vulnerable. I think in a nutshell, it's about understanding the energy around you, like what everything around you symbolizes, and putting them in their place. So if it is about the bedroom, you want to be calm, you want to be clean, you want to be peaceful. If it is about the study room, you want to be like engaging and good light, good energy, so you can be alert. So, for example, an office, right? You want to have all your work material close to you. You are ideally don't want to have your bed next to you because it will distract you. You want to have good natural light. You want to have all your equipment next to by your side as well. So even an office is very particular. It depends on what kind of work you do. If you are for example, if you are an artist, then you wouldn't have a big computer setup. You want to have a big table so you can spread all your equipment. So the big table is important. If you are a programmer, you want many screens so you can have all your stuff next to you and quite quiet. If you are a digital artist, you might not want the natural light. You actually want your room to be quite dark so the lighting is controlled. Um, so it all depends. Like feng shui is there to help give you a guideline, but ultimately you need to understand yourself, or I will understand you for you and tell you what's best for you. um, but yes, it's all about understanding the person and making their space suit them as good as possible.
Yeah, yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, we just think about how our home makes us feel. What happens? What happens when someone walks into a home that's full of clutter in the context of feng shui?
So feng shui doesn't actually talk about it. Feng shui doesn't has no chapter for clutter historically, but clutter is what we associate with. If we associate clutter with messy, dirty, stressful things, then it is bad. So, in a nutshell, in feng shui, we try to avoid clutter. We want everything in their place. We want tidiness. We want order, so that it doesn't affect your well-being. But I mean that some people the clutter may not bother them. In fact, they might want their room to be filled with all the things that support their living and their lifestyle. So I can't judge to say that all clutter is bad. In fact, for most people, if you have clutter around you, you realize that it's not really clutter. All these things are important to you. They're just in misplaced locations. So if you can have a system where everything has a home and you can store it quite easily back to where they belong, it will make your life much more pleasant in your space.
Yeah, and I did a post a while ago on how clutter actually affects our mental health, anxiety, and it can actually cause inflammation in our body because we're so stressed from the clutter. So, just thinking about how important that is, I wanted to close with a few things. The kitchen. What are some really important rules in the kitchen? Things that we commonly do that might not be really healthy for feng shui.
Okay. Well, I mean, for the kitchen, firstly, we want the kitchen layout. You want the golden triangle. So you are seated, you're standing there, you have the sink, the stove, and the fridge forming a triangle around you. So you have everything within reach. So if you are planning a new kitchen, make sure your kitchen is designed in a way that would aid that. Don't like try not to put an island between the sink and the stove, for example. It makes things very hard to use. Otherwise, there are other feng shui principles that keep the kitchen looking less aggressive because the kitchen is kind of a dangerous place. There's fire, there's knives. So generally, I would say try not to have your knives exposed. Put them in a drawer.
Hmm.
Don't have them like displaying out because it's dangerous. It looks very aggressive. It looks like a butcher. It looks like so. It's not a nice thing to look at. You also want to avoid mirrors in the kitchen because a mirror would amplify the clutter in the kitchen, or will amplify the fire in the kitchen. It makes the whole thing once again very aggressive, very high energy. You can put things that symbolize abundance and nice colors and life, like have a nice big bowl of fruits on display proudly that will help you eat the fruits and have a healthy diet, and also add a lot of color. Like we have red apples, very fiery in the kitchen, and it looks vibrant and it looks nice. Abundant. Kitchen is all about having food, and we want to remind ourselves that we are not short of food. We have loads of it. So lots of nice abundant things. Show off your nice fresh fruits and vegetables, and try to hide the aggressive stuff like all your knives and skewers in the drawer.
Amazing, amazing. I'm just thinking about, the people who have the knife display. A lot of you listening right there have that. So maybe you might want to rethink it and have a little knife drawer for you. At least energetically would be one of the healthiest things to do. You mentioned you have a book. What was the name of the book?
Oh, the book is called Feng Shui Modern.
Feng Shui Modern.
It's
Okay,
translated into 4 languages.
amazing. Congratulations. And what can we look for? You say you go room by room and help teach us?
So I mean, in the book, I give a very a nice clear introduction and explanation of what feng shui is and its principles, and then I go straight into how you would set up every single room in the house, from the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, even shared spaces. If you're sharing, how you would approach that. And I touch on colors, lighting, and accessories in the home. So it's a bit like a big textbook summarizing everything that you will basically need before you set up your home.
Amazing. I mean, we need that. And when you buy a new home, it seems to me that that's like the most important thing. is actually really setting it up in a way that is set up for success for the long term.
So many people I know, they buy a home, expensive home, and they just like dump furniture all over the place, and nothing works. They find themselves not enjoying their home. They can't wait to move out because they're not expanding their home's full potential. They're not living in the home in a way that suits them. They're just plonking furniture in the way that the previous owner has done it. They have put their furniture in the way the home was staged to sell. So it might not necessarily suit the way you live, and that would affect. Or worse still, some people they don't even think they leave they leave the furniture where the movers left them. So many
Yeah.
times I see a bed in such a bad condition. I ask them, why is your bed here? They say, oh, that's where the movers left it.
Yeah, so we're totally out of our own power for the flow of the energy in the house, and it's real because there's been a lot of moments where I know that when I'm arranging something, and a lot of us can actually attest to that, we're arranging something in our house and it just doesn't feel right, and then we go, okay, no, 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 help me move it this way, and then we move it this way, and we're looking at it and it still doesn't feel right, and then we put in another position and it just happens to be the position that actually is most likely the feng shui position of where it just feels right because you can feel that the energy flows freely in that way. I think we're all intuitive into that. But I'm really excited to see it in your book. Me moving to a new place in the summer, I still have a lot of things. I don't even have a couch yet. So, now's the time to really get on top of it. So, and the name of it one more time?
It's called Feng Shui Modern
Okay.
by Cliff Tan.
Okay. And you give a lot of tips on YouTube, a lot of tips on social media. How do we find you on these socials? What are the handles?
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me on my handle Dear Modern,
Mm-hmm. We'll
or you can
tag it.
just search my name.
Yeah, we'll put it on the show notes for everyone. So remember, if you have a new home, if you're not sleeping right, it might be a feng shui thing. It might be you do not dismiss it. It might be a feng shui thing. So think about if you're not sleeping right, if your home doesn't feel right, if you're feeling stressed in your home, it could be a feng shui thing. Check out all of my guys' pages. You have a great YouTube. I was looking at it this morning, and yeah, thank you for coming on the show. I know you're on London time. My man has to go eat dinner now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and so now you know.
I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you do and helping teach us.
Thank you.